Well, what if your child only had a short time to live, but you knew there was a treatment out there that could give him several more years to live?
Tonight, the parents of a Jacksonville boy are desperately trying to get their son an experimental medication that could give him more time, but they're being told he can't have it.
Heather Carford is on your side with their story tonight. Heather?
Well, Jeannie, this is Timothy Donohue. Look at his precious big smile. He's 6 years old. Timothy has two brothers who are his best friends, and he's battling a rare neurological disorder. His mother is sharing his story in hopes that it will help him get an experimental medicine she says could save his life. Without it, she says his days are numbered.
Do we think that Timothy deserves a fighting chance? I'm looking at a picture book.
Jamie Donohue didn't give birth to Timothy.
Are you walking? Yeah.
But she's raised him since he was a baby.
Look at your crazy hair there.
She fell in love with him when he was just 5 months old.
He's a light wherever he goes, and he brings joy to everybody that he meets.
She and her husband were his foster parents and eventually adopted him and his two brothers.
He wins everybody over with that big grin, and we'd like to see it around as long as we possibly can.
At the age of 2, Timothy was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder called Leigh syndrome. Since then, they've watched the progressive disease take away his ability to walk and weaken his muscles.
And his diaphragm is weakening, and we've experienced about 5 times respiratory distress, and he's had to be taken to the hospital. Where are you going? Give me a kiss.
Timothy is now getting hospice care. His mom is holding out hope. A drug called EPI 743,
That's right.
which is showing promising results in clinical trials,
What is that?
can give him several more years so he can grow up with his brothers.
Without it, he doesn't have the opportunity that he should have. His brothers deserve for him to be able to have this medication to make more memories and to prolong his life.
The drug, the only one of its kind, is manufactured by a small private company called Bioelectron. It has not yet been approved by the FDA, so it cannot be sold.
There is a compassionate use bill that's been signed. It is for people who are deemed terminally ill, and it's supposed to give them access to any drug that is currently in a drug trial and not FDA approved. But we're being told by this company that it's not.
Bioelectron CEO Dr. Matthew Klein says his company is no longer enrolling children in its compassionate use program because it's focused on clinical trials to help get the drug approved and available for all of the children who need it.
I get letters from hundreds of parents a year telling me the story very similar to Mrs. Donohue, that their child is at the end of life, there is no treatments available, there are no options for these children, and can we please help? Not only saddens us, but actually invigorates us to continue working as hard as we are to try to get a drug to all of these families.
Right now, he says all of the drug supply that exists is already allocated for the patients currently getting the treatment.
We feel like without it, he might not be here much longer.
But Timothy's family is not giving up their fight.
We'll continue to petition whoever we need to petition until we get this medication for him.
So it comes down to right now, the company that makes this drug just does not have the supply to be able to give it to all of the children like Timothy who want it and who need it. Last year, President Trump signed the Right to Try Act into law, giving terminally ill patients access to drugs in clinical trials. But there's no funding set aside. And so ultimately, it's up to the drug maker to decide whether patients can get the medicine. Now, I have spent several days calling lawmakers. Senators Rubio and Scott and Congressman Rutherford and Lawson's offices have all been in touch with Timothy's family to see if they can help, and we will keep you posted.